Welcome to round 5 of season 18 of the Forza Racing Series.co.uk Forza Touring Car Championship. We're here for the sprint race at Brands Hatch on the Indy circuit, and look at this, the conditions, very wet indeed. It's an incredible challenge for our 24 drivers today, and it will see Booth and Scales starting on pole position. Your starting grid, as we can see, Moss and Riley are on row 2. Garside, a new starter here alongside Winder on row 3. Row 4, Morton and Parry. Row 5 will go to Roberts and Kraus. Row 6 will be Page and James. Row 7, Slabek and Mellor, Corley and Fanchams on 15th and 16th. 17th and 18th will be O'Neill and Wolfenden. Wolfenden will be lining up in 18th. As we say, Stern and Clark 19th and 20th. 21st and 22nd will be Heron and Sabine. Of course, Heron changing from the Mercedes now to the Audi in a couple of pre-meeting changes. Amati and McKeeble will be starting on the last row of the grid, our 24 full cohort here at Brands Hatch on the Indy circuit. It's a very tight circuit, it's a difficult one to overtake at the best of times, but the wet always brings out great racing, and as Booth in the BMW makes his way up to the pole position, of course on driver's right hand side, you can see you're starting uphill then, but the person in third place, you're in a bit of a dip, and of course with the wet conditions you've got to be able to get a good start. Of course Moss will be starting in third place. But it's interesting to note we've got 6 Audis. Oh my goodness, that's a car around them already, and that's Sabine in the Honda Civic, who just went for a bit of a pirouette coming up to the grid. I'm not quite sure what happened there, but we'll just go through it. Luckily he can retain his position on the grid, so no harm there. As we can see the Amati and the BMW lining up at the back. As we get ready for a start then, lights are on now, getting up to 4 red lights, lights out then, and away we go. That's a decent start by the BMW, bogs down a little bit. The Audi's going to try and have a challenge coming up towards Paddock Hill Bend for the first time, but it looks like car number 30, that's Scales, he keeps second place. Off the line and through Paddock Hill for the first time. Look at that big puddle on the right hand side. The Audi gets sideways. There's an Audi behind, it's getting sideways. Just manages to keep it through. And as we come up towards Druids and Graham Hill Bend for the first time, you've got to be very careful. These puddles here are absolutely treacherous, especially on the first lap. But it is Booth in car number 15 in the lead. Garside now in 5th place. Ahead of us is Moss in the Audi S3 as they come through Surtees and up towards Clearways for the first time. The BMW with a good couple of car lengths through Clearways and up towards the start finish line. There's a bit of a challenge there between Riley and Moss, but it is Booth, Scales, Moss, Riley, Garside, Warrender, Roberts, Parry and Page are top 9 as we cross the line for the first time out of 17. Third place here is Moss, and you can see the BMW gets very sideways, the back end slips out then. He's really held Scales up, but up the inside goes Moss in the Audi. Up the inside into Druids, a little bit of contact, 2, 3, 4 little nudges as they come up to Druids. There's a big, massive puddle on the apex there as well, so you've got to be very careful. You can see Riley in the BMW is looking incredibly racy. There's a Tag Heuer sponsor board there. And we've got a bit of replay. Oh, right, so backwards is Sabine, and also wide is Heron, of course, in car number 40. Does manage to rejoin, so that poor Honda Civic seems to have spent more time going backwards and forwards in this race so far. Clark up to 13th place. This is what happens, you keep yourself out of trouble and you can progress quickly. Where did he start? 20th. 13th already. Who knows where he could be in the end of the race. But anyway, up towards the line, look at this, a battle between the Mercedes and the Audi. The Audi up the inside trying to look for it, and his Scales goes straight on. Oh my, almost touches the wall, but Scales has gone absolutely straight on. Look at that, 6, 7, 8, 9, at least 10 positions he's going to lose as he rejoins, as he trundles through the gravel trap. Right, so Scales, you can see, stopped it on the apex coming to Clearways, the right-hander. And look at this, Warrender's looking very racy. He looks at driver's left hand side. Scales moves that way as well. He's entitled to it. He now crosses over. Oh my goodness me, that was tight between Warrender and unfortunately Scales, trying to defend so hard, just missed his braking point, especially in the wet. It's such a difficult one, and he does live to fight another day, but in a much lower position than he would have liked. Meanwhile, Riley trying to get the car back, coming through Druids. What's going to happen? Up towards Graham Hill Bend. And that's a decent exit from our leading BMW. O'Neill has gone off now, and that looks like it's Graham Hill Bend as well. Car number 32 gone wide, the Worth Racing Toyota Avensis. and oh, he's just missed his braking point coming into Graham Hill Bend. You catch it, it's difficult to brake in the dry, let alone the wet. A bit of a kiss into the barrier, reverses out of the way, and that car, I believe, will be heading into retirement. On board with Clark again, he's still in 13th place. Slabek then in the other Worth Racing car, the only one still running in this race. And you can see it's too wide with the Cadbury's Racing car, which is Kraus as well, coming up towards clearways, and Slabek goes wide. He goes quite wide indeed. Clark tries to go out the inside, isn't going to work, does have to bide his time a little bit. I am loving this onboard camera we've got with the drivers. You can really see what goes on there. Meanwhile, the battle for the lead still raging on. Second place is still the Audi, third place is Riley once again, and you can see that's going to go wide, and straight off is our race leader. Oh my goodness, Booth has gone wide now as well. Everyone is struggling at Graham Hill Bend, and Booth has gone wide. He's lost out the lead, and there's also a Toyota off there as well. In fact, here's the replay. This is Stern, who goes wide at Graham Hill Bend, and bish bash bosh, big one.
Tried to pass Peter, I've had a big shot. Oh no.
Who does he think he is? Jimmy T? Anyway, up towards Paddock Hill Bend, we've got an onboard with Rowinder, who's gone wide coming into Paddock Hill Bend. Also Morton right behind us. He does manage to keep it through. He goes deep. Look at that though, car number 7. That's Page who's trying to fight up the inside, and now Corley's going up the inside of Morton. This is all kinds of hectic action. And you can see now it's Moss in the lead of our race on lap 4. Can you believe all of this has happened in just 4 laps? More contact here, boys. Come on, look at this. It's like a big pack of angry snakes just biting at you. They want to come through no matter what goes on. Around the outside he tries to go, doesn't quite work, but look at this. Corley keeping his footing, committed to the cause as ever. Very defensive there from Warrinder, and they almost went 3 wide. Oh, big booth for contact then. Slabek meanwhile coming through Surtees. Look at this, that's Garside right ahead of us. He's going to go side by side. Oh, big contact, he's going to go wide. In fact, yes he does. Does he go into the barrier? There's a nerf there from behind on Slabek as well. That's not going to help. Look at this, a queue of 5 cars going at it hard as well. What's going on here? Is Slabek trying to go into the pits, or is he trying to just cut the corner? Who knows? Can't quite get through, but look at that. There goes Clark unleashed, and Garside goes through once again as well. So all of this tussling and turning. Meanwhile, once again, it's Page who's going to look at the inside, coming into Druids on Warrinder. In fact, he goes through. So the Honda Civic has made his position. Morton, though, going wide and, crucially, not continuing. So he does carry on. He lost out a couple of positions, but there we go. Confirmation. Warrinder's dropped back. On board with Clark, now up into 8th position. Morton ahead of us. And as we come through Surtees, once again, the left-hander pushing as hard as he can. These conditions are so difficult to drive through, but you can see Clark very adaptable, which would have helped to his championship win at the very last race here last year at Abu Dhabi in the Grand Prix circuit. And you can see just how quick he is. Side by side between the 2 Audis. Morton on the right. Is he going to come through? In fact, yes he does. Very late braking. They make a little bit of a nudge. He goes a bit deep, but that's going to help him. Coming through Paddock Hill Bend, you can see the puddle on the right hand side. He tries to defend, he shuts the door as firm as he can. Up the inside though, and nonetheless it's going a bit deep. So Parry is going very well indeed with Morton. They're going side by side for at least half a lap now up towards Graham Hill Bend. This has caught a few drivers out so far in this race. It hasn't caught anyone else out at the moment, but Parry once again takes position. It's 3 cars line astern. Clark pulls to driver's left hand side, but this is a battle for the race lead once again. The Audi doesn't look like he's going to keep the position for much longer, because Riley took him very racy indeed. They go side by side on lap 6 out of 17. Around the outside of Druids Bend, the rear-wheel drive BMW, can it get more traction? A little bit out wide, so the Audi does momentarily keep the lead up towards Graham Hill Bend. The left-hander of the car's physically sliding out. Look how slow it's going in comparison. Riley is going to get absolutely frustrated behind this. He's just thinking this, he knows he can take him, he just can't find the route to do so. Coming through Surtees up towards Clearways, 2-3 big stabs at the brake because the car astronomically wide. It was going sideways through Clearways, and the start finish straight, well, as much straight as you can call it. He's going to try and get the run. Paddock Hill Bend, this is once again the battle for the lead. The BMW looks left, very defensive from Moss, and they are side by side. They're nose to tail up towards Druids, but the Audi a fantastic defensive duty to keep the lead. Look at this, this is textbook stuff. Although Riley's going to be really wanting to rip up the rule book right now just to get past. He's going to be angry in that car. There's a bit of contact, and the BMW straightens himself out, but that's not going to put paid for him so far. Garside, 9th place in the FTCC racing car. Up towards Graham Hill Bend. Going wide there is Morton, and as you can see, he's just pressing quite hard. Not too bad here from Garside in his debut meeting in the FRS FTCC. And so far, 9th place, a very respectable result. A very young Dan Moore once went, I got 9th, but that's a story for another day. As we can see, Parry going side by side, 11 versus 1. 1 comes out on top, and that's even before Paddock Hill Bend. The straight line speed on the Chevrolet, very good indeed. A bit of contact made there, and look at the save there from Parry. He bit the curb, it spat him out, he kept it in, and that's going to go down as a good little move. Page in 3rd place though, getting past the Toyota on the straight, the VR46 Racing Honda Civic, and you can see he's closing in for the battle for the lead. So very soon we're going to have a 3-way battle, 3 different manufacturers, 3 different drivers, 3 different teams, independents and manufacturers battling for the race lead. Lap 11 out of 17. You got to think Riley's slowly running out of time to make a move. He's not as close as he was just a few laps ago, so maybe that contact he had has slowed him down a little bit. Could have done aero damage, but he is closing up through Paddock Hill Bend. He's got a much better run up towards Druids. He's not going to take a move here, surely not. He's having to sniff about it though. Moss's defensive driving was good. Riley's going to have to think of a way through. He's going to pull side by side up towards Graham Hill once again, cutting through that curb, cutting through that water. It's not going to be fun in any car whatsoever. 5th place for Winder now in the Oil for Wales Racing Audi S3. We can see the Clark Race Engineering Chevrolet Sport car behind. Chevrolet Sport and Racing, reigning drivers' champions of course, with Clark behind us. You can see those menacing LED lights, and going wide there is the other Worth car in a carbon copy incident to his teammates some while ago. Slabek goes wide at Graham Hill Bend, and side by side the battle for 5th it goes. Clark's going to try and do what he did once more. He grabs the grass. Look at that, the steering went down. You can see he had to fight the car. He's going to try around the outside. It's not going to work. Up the inside coming into Paddock Hill Bend, not quite enough room, but it's one he's going to make the corner. He just about makes it, but so compromised, so slow through Paddock Hill Bend. That has meant Clark now up into 5th place. What a stellar drive we're seeing so far, and I've got a funny feeling his teammate in 4th place, Corley, who now sees, look at this, a battle for 2nd place. Around the outside tries to go Page, it's not going to work. Riley takes 2nd place back. Can he make a late move up the clearways? Doesn't quite do it, but nonetheless, look at this, Corley's really going for it. He goes to driver's right hand side, he makes it through, unlike a few laps ago. And it's Moss, Riley, Corley, Page, Clark, Winder, Parry, Morton, Garside. Lap 12 out of 17. Not long left to go, but nonetheless, look at this fantastic battle we're seeing for the lead. 4 cars now on towards the Druids Bend once again. And it's side by side between Corley and Page. Page on driver's right hand side now this time. You can see the water slowed him down. It caught the car. He didn't want to put the power down. It just slowed him down. And there's Clark now in 5th place, who's got Winder behind him. He's not going to be worrying too much about him, I expect. But as we make our way up towards Surtees, this one will see how hard the steering's being worked. 4th gear there, still a very quick corner, even in the wet. Braking into clearways. And the battle for the lead not too far ahead of us. Great to watch, but if you're defending in the way that Moss is for so long, he's going to be absolutely hating this now. It's going to be Riley around the outside. He's going to try around the outside. Is he going to make it work? He goes side by side and into the gravel. A little bit of a push there, but and more contact there for the race lead. Corley sniffs blood. He's pushed him out wide. A little bit of contact. Here's the replay. Riley's not happy, understandably so. Grabs the curb. He's trying to go as far around the outside as they could. Turn to one, just can't go. And the pair of them absolutely frustrated. Let's look at that. That's Corley. Corley's gone wide from 4th place. He is going to be explosive in that car. Astronomically angry in that car. I wouldn't want to go and stick a microphone under him after that, because he's not going to be happy at all. Now Riley's going deep into clearways. This is inviting another manufacturer car through. He tries to go through side by side between the BMW and the Chevrolet. The BMW just keeps it through. And as we make it up towards lap 14 out of 17, Moss hereby, I do suspect, could well take the win, but we've still got a couple of laps left to go. anything can happen in the FTCC, especially in these conditions, especially around Brands Hatch on the Indy circuit. We are going to see what's happening here. One nudge here from Page up towards Graham Hill Bend, turning into the left-hander at Graham Hill Bend, and you can see just a sea of headlights. He's been absorbing all of this pressure for so long. He's just going to be happy to take the checker flag as he goes wide. Oh my goodness, he goes wide. Contact there between the pair of them. Sideways for the Honda Civic. The Audi does manage to keep it through though, but look at this, 4th place for Clark, 3rd place for Riley. Riley's having to defend around driver's left-hand side for Clark. I'm sorry, but this is fantastic stuff. You can't help but get excited because you're going to see who's going to take the race win. We don't know at this point. Look how committed Clark is as he gets contact. He goes sideways, completely sideways down Paddock Hill Bend, up towards Druids, BMW right and Chevrolet left. Is he made the position? I think he has. Look at that, the Honda Civic, he's bit and he's gone wide coming through Druids. What's going to happen at Graham Hill Bend? Can Clark go over the inside, make a late gas move? He certainly tries it. He can't quite go through. Here's the replay though of Clark on Riley. And as you can see, just around the outside, 2 into 1 doesn't go. Look at the pair of them. That's safe. We need to get that as a screenshot. What a fantastic... Oh, and another one from Riley going through the water. And what's going to happen here? Can Clark do it? Look, coming into Surtees, the Honda's looking very unsettled. He's not taking on the pressure, is he? He's going a bit deep into clearways. Is he going to make the apex? No, he doesn't. He leaves a little bit of space. This is all Clark's going to need. He's going to go and go side by side. Driver's right-hand side, up towards the line. We've just got 2 laps left to go. Over the line. Look at this. Can Clark do it? Up towards Paddock Hill Bend. He's got the inside line. And yes, he does. Clark takes it. But Page back on the outside line. He gets very sideways over the line, over the curbing. Look at that. Clark still got the inside line somehow. But Page in 3rd. He's not 3rd anymore. He's not 4th anymore. Look at this. Big contact from the BMW onto the Chevrolet. And Page has lost 2 positions in 1 corner. Riley around the outside. Can he make it coming up towards Surtees? He's been pushed out. Oh no, a bit of contact. He's gone wide onto the grass and he's going to spin. Where is he going to resume? Oh, and big contact there with the Audi. He can't rejoin it, and I do not want to know what Levi's got to say in that car because he's not happy. 2 laps left to go. Moss in the lead. 2nd place is Clark. 3rd place is Page. We've got the Honda. I believe that's a laps car. Yes, it is. So that's a laps car. He's got to get out of the way of this race battle because look at this. Who's it going to be in the last 2 laps? Can Moss take the win, or will it be Clark cruelly denying him of the victory? Goes up the inside, big bit of contact coming into Graham Hill Bend. That's right to left side contact, side by side. Look at this. Moss is not going to give him an inch. He's got to do the best defensive driving because look at that. He's gone deep. Clark's gone up the inside into clearways. Clark takes the race lead with a bit of contact to boot. The Chevrolet takes the race lead on the 2nd last lap. Look at this. And Clark does not need a second invitation. Here we go. Up the inside, he's got no room to spare. The Wales online cars, you can see he goes as deep as he can. But deep on the right hand side means you lose a lot of time on the left hand side. He just left the door open. Clark saw that as a barn door in effect of room and just took the position and is on course to take the victory here on the last lap. Can it be a last ditch attempt from Moss to retake his race lead? He's certainly looking quite close indeed. Clark's going to be feeling a bit of pressure. Meanwhile, car number 17, that, my friends, is Weller in the Cadbury's race team Dairy Milk Racing car, although I suspect that is actually our man Kraus. So all we can see, look at this great battle here lower down in the race order. Who's it going to be? But we're going to see who's going to take a position. Look, Mawson in 11th, 10th place is Robertson, car number 9, 17 there as well. They're 3 wide on the back straight. Come on lads, calm it down, we don't want to lose you on the last lap. Is Mawson going to take the position? Yes he does. Look at this, absolutely wonderful stuff. But up towards the line, and Clark.
Beautiful job again, fantastic, well done mate.
He takes the victory. Clark, what a drive, 20th to 1st. Come on lads, that is how you do it. A fantastic win for him and Chevrolet Sport and Racing. We'll find out the full result in just a moment, but let's just take a time to applaud Moss in that fantastic drive. But it is Clark who won in the end ahead of Moss. Page on the podium as well. Warrender, Corley, Riley, who eventually finished only 6th. What a shame for him. James, Mellor, Kraus and Roberts, your top 10. then it is Morton, Fanchamp, Slabek, Carey, Heron, who finished a lap down, Booth, Garside, Scales, Amati and Makiva, your top 20. And that is round 5 from Brands Hatch. Thank you very much for joining me. Until next time, we'll see you over at the ForzaRacingSeries.co.uk.